I've never liked flying, not because of turbulence, not because of heights, but because of what happened on Flight 117. It was a red-eye from Boston to Denver, the kind of flight filled with businessmen, nursing mini bottles, and college kids pretending they weren't afraid. The kind of flight where the lights dim early and the windows turn into black mirrors. I remember the man in 26B. He boarded last. Tall, thin, wearing a black suit that didn't wrinkle when he moved. No carry-on, no jacket, just a small, patient smile that felt rehearsed, like he'd practiced it in a mirror for a very long time. He sat beside me. "Evening," he said. His voice was smooth but wrong. Not deep, not high, just layered. Like two voices speaking at once, one slightly behind the other. I nodded and went back to my book, but I could feel him looking at me, not glancing, studying. The plane took off into heavy clouds. The turbulence started early. The captain's voice crackled over the intercom, reassuring, professional. We'd level out soon. We didn't. About 40 minutes in, the cabin lights flickered. The woman across the aisle gasped. A baby began screaming somewhere toward the back. The flicker turned into a stutter, like the plane was blinking. Then the smell hit. Sulfur, thick and rotten, like burnt matches and spoiled meat. People started murmuring. A flight attendant hurried down the aisle, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She stopped when she reached our row. "Sir," she said to the man in 26B, "we're going to need you to return to your seat." He hadn't moved. Not physically, but his shadow had. I swear to God it had. The overhead light cast a shadow of him against the cabin wall. But it wasn't sitting. It was standing. Tall. Unnaturally tall. Its head brushed the ceiling. The flight attendant saw it too. Her smile collapsed. The man turned to her slowly. Too slowly. Like his neck had more joints than it should. "I am seated," he said gently. The layered voice came again. The second one sounded amused. The plane dropped. Not a dip, a drop. Screams tore through the cabin as oxygen masks deployed in a chaotic rain of plastic and tubing. Luggage burst from overhead bins. Somewhere behind us, something metallic snapped. I grabbed the armrest. He grabbed my wrist. His hand was warm, too warm, like it had been sitting in fire. "Don't be afraid," he whispered. "You're not on the manifest." The plane leveled for a moment. Then every screen in the cabin turned on at once. Seatback monitors, overhead displays. Even the emergency exit signs flickered and glowed brighter than they should have. They weren't showing flight maps. They were showing names, a scrolling list. Passengers. Every name lit up red as it passed. When it reached mine, it skipped. The man in 26B smiled wider. "You see," he said softly, "this one isn't for you." A woman near the front began praying loudly. The businessman 2 rows up started laughing hysterically. The baby stopped crying. The captain came over the intercom again, but it wasn't his voice. It was the layered one. "Ladies and gentlemen," it said, dripping with pleasure, "we are beginning our descent." Outside the windows, there were no clouds anymore. No stars, just red. Endless, pulsing red. Like the sky itself was breathing. The plane tilted downward at a steep, impossible angle. People clawed at seats. A man tried to force open an emergency exit and was sucked halfway out before something invisible yanked him back in. The shadow beside me stood fully now. It unfolded from the wall like it had been waiting. Horns brushed the ceiling. Wings, too thin, too sharp, spread along the cabin, slicing through the overhead bins without touching them. The man in 26B remained seated, smiling. "Hell isn't fire," he told me calmly. "It's arrival." The cabin lights went out completely. For a moment, there was only screaming and the roar of wind. Then silence. When I woke up, I was alone in a field in Nebraska. No wreckage, no smoke, no bodies, just me, still buckled into a torn airplane seat, lying in the grass under a normal blue sky. The authorities said there was no record of Flight 117 that night. No crash, no missing plane, no passenger list. But sometimes, when I'm falling asleep, I smell sulfur, and I hear that layered voice in the dark. "We're preparing for departure." I don't fly anymore, but I check the skies, because every so often, late at night, I see a plane with no lights. descending, slowly, like it's looking for someone whose name it skipped.